I've got a confession to make. I, I'm not the hugest fan when it comes to films like focus features. Now I understand and the appeal, like it's one of the more independent and the deal also over Universal. So then I mean excellent. I was aiming for award season. So like I made to be big contenders. That's I understand that, but I've never been huge on their films, with the exception of Piece by Piece last year. Yeah, the films we've gotten from them from 2025 have been in rather. We had Black Bag at the beginning of the year, which I didn't hate, but it did take me a while to go onto. Yeah, and then in September we had Honey Don't, which I really didn't like. I rewatched it back in December, and while I definitely wouldn't call it one of the year's worst films, it did get a bit worse as we equal. But there is one film from Focus Features that came out ish that I thought was pretty good, and that was Bugonia. Yeah, out of all the films I've looked at from 2025, this is probably the weirdest one, and I'm saying that as a good thing mostly. Maybe it's about these two conspiracy racial kidnapped women, and because they believe that she's an alien. Yeah. And right off the back, I'll get into the best thing about this film, and that is the actors. Because each one of the performances, it really what out with the role it were given. From Emma Stone on as the leading woman, and to the two main guys, as the acting is easily one of Bugonia's strongest aspects. And I wouldn't be surprised if Emma Stone gets lost good nomination for this film, because her performance was really good. This was my second time watching this film, and while I liked her performance the first time I watched it, I really liked it a lot more when I gave this film a rewatch. I also think the story is quite interesting, especially when it comes to making a woman. When you're questioning throughout the feature if she is human or alien, and while it does become more understandable of her true identity as the feature goes on, the feature does do a good job of keeping you guessing. I also thought the two conspiracy theories guys were really good. Eddie was a really good character. So I might honestly have the best performance of the entire cast, especially as his anger and insanity grow throughout the feature, and his cousin was a decently the enjoyable cat. I was with him even being a bit nervous about the whole thing. And if you're wondering what other characters do we get in this film, well, there's not much. The most you get is this police officer who's Teddy's best. Avery set out to try to make up for with Teddy for not being the best babysitter in the past, but that arc does us going up. Oh well. Also, I think this film does go by a bit quick. At first, I didn't mind the quick pace of each one was quickly explaining everything within 20 minutes, and then it got odd to in that from the woman. But by the time they do it, the feature does us go over certain things too quick, and when it does slow down, there are times I'm sorry, the film does feel like it's going too slow. Oh, which sucks because it honestly has a really good story it wants to tell. And I did. If I'm myself getting, I think that I'm really interested in. Also, I'm kind of mixing the ending thing without going into spoil. Oilers, they come to a conclusion that I guess kind of makes sense for the direction the film was going on to, and it's supposed to be like a more serious or sad way to end the feature, but the way they kind of end it is unintentionally hilarious, and I do feel like it would. Yes, I was laughing a bit. But they could have toned down the comedy. I know I've been giving this film a lot of criticism, so allow me to come back to another positive this film has, and that's its visual design. Honestly, this one looks gorgeous. There are so many wonderful shots of the future, even if it's mainly shown as in a suburban urban town. And the CGI for the alien ship, even if it's not the best CG ever, was pretty decent and solid for what they were going for. I doubt this will get a visual effects Oscar, but if it does, I won't complain. So overall, Bugonia is a pretty weird fit, and with the way things are explained, but I still enjoy myself. Maybe the pacing could have been better. They could have added a bit more, did a few more characters, and it was hilarious for all the wrong reasons. But it does have a solid story, interesting characters, great visuals, and fantastic acting. I don't think this is so much for everyone, and I doubt this is going to be a film everyone's going to like. But if you are willing to give this a chance, and then you might, I find yourself being decently invested, I recommend to watch this film at least once to say a story. Sorry for the short review. I surprisingly had a lot less to say about this film than I thought, but I did that. I think there was a bit enough about this feature that I thought was worth discussing. And it doesn't change the fact that, as weird as it is, you'll find this film to be enjoyably weird, and that's why I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.